In many states, it is getting much easier to get access to the vaccine, with some of the requirements changing in terms of which industries are getting access, which pre-existing conditions. The age limits are dropping in a lot of places, not everywhere, and definitely check your state and check your locality, but it is changing. That said, there have been all along little ways along the edges to potentially jump the line a little bit. And I've been very curious to find out what people think about this. Now, famously, we used as one of our garbage people the two women in Florida who put on makeup to look like grandmothers so they could go. Just madness. But that is just the most comical version of trying to skip the line. So what do people think about other ones? Well, there's a great poll up on YouGov that we're gonna talk about. So for instance, volunteering at a vaccine clinic to get a vaccine, which, look, at the very least, you are working. It's a little bit, I mean, would you if you weren't getting the vaccine? But 70% of people think that that's acceptable. 24% think that it's not. So generally people are like, if you work for it, sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I can't, why would I find one person?
How many hours, JR? How many hours should you have to work?
If you work one day, you get that. Absolutely, that's help. Because listen, I've seen the lines and everything of how these are going, and that's work all day. That's work, man. I'm sure there's shifts and stuff, but that's you're delivering potentially life-saving vaccines for people. That's an important job, and if you do it for one day, how many people have you helped? That's worth it, bro.
That is true, and by the way, you are of course at least a little bit opening yourself up to getting sick, like
totally.
And so the people that are there have to be vaccinated for their own safety.
Totally.
Okay, so that's an easy one. How about accepting a vaccine that would have otherwise expired and been thrown out? So 69% nice say that would be acceptable. 25% say no. So this is where you either lurk around one of these places at the end of the day, or you call ahead so that if someone doesn't show up for their appointment, there's a certain number of doses in each vial. They can't re-refrigerate it once they've opened it. So if they only use 2, somebody should get those. Interestingly, it was a little bit less accepted than the volunteering, JR. What do you think about that?
That's weird. Even more so, I mean,
it would be wasted. Like
these
that
two
just
for
seems
me,
like a slam dunk.
Yeah, the first one I said is 100. If I could go over 100%, I would on this one even more. Like, what's the problem? You'd rather, so 25% of people, at least that were polled here, would rather see doses wasted than to go to someone.
That is interesting.
It's actually helpful to you who doesn't have it, bro. It's so weird. I don't know.
I don't get it, especially because that's the one that I might try at some point. I never have an afternoon open to try, but I do want to try eventually. Anyway, those are the only 2 that have very widespread appeal. So once you jump down to like crossing state lines to get a vaccine, only 41% support it, 54 don't. Probably because when someone sees that, they think, well, I don't want someone from Arizona coming to California and getting it. So they don't like that. Using a vaccine appointment access code that was not intended for you, only 15% support that.
Yeah.
Which we've had a couple of scandals about that. Offering a bribe, 13% of the country is like, yeah, you should be able to bribe doctors.
No.
It's a weird position.
Yeah.
Why are you okay with that? Is that like the top 13%? Do we have a country where 13% of the population is like ready to bribe somebody? Like they have the resources to do it?
I think there's more. If more people had the kind of resources where they could bribe someone, it'd be way more bribes. It's just people don't have any money. Yeah. That's the only problem.
The bribe, now you might think the bribe should be the lowest, but I don't know. Falsely claiming to have a qualifying medical condition, 12% support that. That's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Like claiming you have asthma or you had a respiratory, like an immune disorder or something. Yeah. And falsely claiming to be an essential worker is also at 12%. Both of those, that's pretty filthy.
Yeah, whenever you're and making an impression of someone else, or you're acting like you're someone else that should be in that position. That's where many of my lines are drawn. Because again, at the end of the day, we do want more people vaccinated, but the thing is, you want people who are at higher risk to be vaccinated first. That's the only thing as far as the line here. And there's a reason why the first two I think were so much higher, because you're doing it legitimately. When it's illegitimate, that's when we have a problem. That's that's really where the lines would be drawn for me. Because even if even if you're like, hey, I work in this field, and even though it's nearby, if you're working in a field that would get you sick, I have no problem with it. Even if it's not on some approved list, if you're still working in a field that can get you sick and get more people sick, that's a benefit to everyone. I'm down.
Yeah, it is interesting though that like the gap between the highest and the lowest. So falsely claiming to be an essential worker, only 12%. Temporarily becoming an essential worker, 70%. So just like just do a day's work. Like it's not that much. You want to get out of the house anyway, don't you?
Yeah. Anyway. Well, and actually, there's a weird mix I have. The state line one, I'm a little shaky on, only because if you cross the state line because it's more available in another nearby state, but you're still not jumping someone else's line. Like if you cross state lines and you have the right requirements, why am I mad?
Yeah.
Like you still should get it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm totally open to be wrong about this stuff.
No, I don't trust any of the people in states surrounding California. Stay out, stay out. But I will go to your state. How about that?
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.